It was supposed to be an ordinary evening, just friends gathered for dinner, conversation flowing, wine glasses clinking. But then I noticed him. The one she always called her best friend. He was lounging in my chair as if it were his own throne, looking at me with that smug, knowing glare. His words cut through the laughter like a blade. Asterisk, she's better off without you. Asterisk, he turned to her as if expecting approval, and she gave it. A small laugh, quiet, but sharp enough to slice me open. That was when I realized she had already surrendered her loyalty. I was no longer her partner. I was the punchline. I looked at the woman I had shared my life with, and she didn't even blink. That's when it became clear. This wasn't an accident or a careless moment. It was the truth she had been quietly hiding. It hadn't always been like this. When we first met, we both had little to our names. I was grinding away, trying to build a career from scraps, working endless hours. She said she admired me then, my persistence, my strength under pressure, the way I never bent. Together, we built something that looked like love. I gave her a home, the security I never had as a child. She gave me laughter and warmth, a soft place to land when the world grew heavy. But over time, her admiration curdled into contempt. Stability became boring. My loyalty was mistaken for weakness. And that so-called friend she kept around? He became the reflection she preferred instead of me. It wasn't one grand betrayal, but the little things. A phone flipped face down when I walked in. Her extra effort in appearance when he came over. The way she dismissed me or defended him. The silence whenever I entered a room. I told myself it was just insecurity, that marriages go through rough seasons. Until one evening, her tablet lit up on the counter. A message from him, asterisk, don't worry about him. He's too serious. He'll never understand you the way I do. Asterisk, her reply. Nothing but laughing emojis. That was the moment everything inside me shifted. The pain hardened into something colder. Calculation. Revenge isn't quick. It's patience disguised as calm. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell or plead. That would have given her control. Instead, I played the role of the loving husband. Smiled more, kissed her forehead, acted blind. All while preparing behind the scenes. First, I secured my finances. Accounts separated, income redirected, investments locked where she couldn't touch them. Then I gathered evidence, screenshots, transfers, late-night visits tracked through location sharing she'd forgotten was still active. Piece by piece, I built a folder of proof. Finally, I lined up my escape. Lawyer retained, papers drawn, the house, mine before the marriage, untouchable. I lived two lives, the doting husband on the surface, and beneath it, the quiet predator biding his time. That night, the dinner, the smug insult, her laugh, that was the spark. He thought he was being clever. She thought I'd swallow it like always. But this time, I didn't. I looked him in the eye and asked calmly, say that again. He smirked wider. Asterisk, she's better off without you. Asterisk. Before I could speak, my wife slammed her glass down. Apologize to him, she snapped, eyes burning into me. Or we're done. And there it was, the gift I had been waiting for. I leaned back, let the silence stretch, and finally smiled. Then we're done. Her face went pale. His grin cracked. I stood, walked to my study, and returned with the folder, thick with evidence. I placed it on the table. This, I said evenly, is everything. You two weren't half as clever as you thought. She reached for it, but I pulled it back. Not for you. For the lawyer. His hands trembled. She gasped. I looked at him first. You wanted me gone? Congratulations. But what you've inherited won't bring you joy. Then at her, you thought humiliating me made you powerful. But I walked out of this marriage months ago. Tonight is just the closing act. Her tears came then, shaking hands, begging for another chance. He sat there, colorless, wishing he could vanish. But I felt nothing. No anger, no love, no desire to fix anything. Just clarity. I grabbed my jacket, turned my back, and walked away. Her voice cracked behind me. You can't just leave. But I could, and I did. That was months ago. The divorce finalized smoothly. She walked away with nothing but regret. He didn't last. Without secrecy, she wasn't the prize he imagined. They thought they'd broken me. In truth, they freed me. Sometimes, late at night, I think back to that dinner. Her demand for an apology. His smirk. And I smile. Because they believed I was trapped, when all along, I had already carved my way out. Revenge isn't fury, it's control, patience, precision. And when you execute it right, you don't just survive. You walk away, never once looking back. Thank you so much for watching. If this video touched your heart or inspired you in any way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Dark Side of Love.